Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. People have been looking for the fastest way to level up weapons in Black Ops 7 ever since the game came out, and there are certain methods that you're going to want to prioritize using because Treyarch will patch them once they find out that we're using them. In this video, I'm going to show you one of those strats. It's something that you should do immediately if you want to level things up very, very quickly. But then if it gets patched, which I'll indicate to you by leaving a pinned comment on this video, and I'll put it in the description. If that's the case, this video is still going to be useful for you because I'm also going to show you several other areas that you can do a load of weapon XP farming and also farm your augments and things like that as well, so that no matter what happens, you aren't left unsure of how to level up quickly, and instead you've got strats on strats on strats ready to go. So let's begin with the one that I suspect Treyarch is going to patch very soon, so use it ASAP. Before you load into your game, you'll obviously want to make sure you've set up the weapon that you desire to level up and power level with here, but I also would recommend that you use Vulture Aid so that you can get ammo back. And I'd also really recommend putting Electric Cherry on. That's especially useful for what I'm about to show you. And if you're not sure where to find that, it's one of the elemental pop augments. I'd also recommend the double tap augment, which gives ammo back, and basically any other stuff that you can think of, which is gonna give you just ammo in general, because ammo is gonna be one of the bottlenecks for this strategy, just ever so slightly. Then finally, I'd also recommend that for whichever ammo mod you intend to use, which should probably be either napalm or fireworks. Fireworks for just zombie kills and napalm for bear killing. You put on big game because that's going to mean that if you're using napalm, it can proc its full effect on the bear. But with all that said, assuming you've got your augments set up, you're going to put on toxic growth and you're going to load into a match of farm survival. As soon as you load in, you're going to spend the first couple of rounds just doing everything normally, and you can do it with Rampage Inducer on as well because it's not that crazy in those early rounds. So get the power switch turned on and start earning towards your field upgrade charge. Once you've got a charge, you need to make sure you've picked up one of the fumigators from either inside the mystery box room or inside the barn on the top floor. And then you need to go over to one of these spores, which you can find in 3 locations. There's one spore location just here, one spore location just here, and one spore location just here. And you need to place your toxic growth on top of that spore. Then water the spore, and you'll find that you'll just get really damn good drops by doing this very consistently. So over and over again, I'm doing this in my game, and it's getting me Pack-a-Punch crystals, and it's getting me ether tools and all sorts of stuff, so that I don't have to spend any money getting those first level ups done. This puts your points economy in a really good place for the rest of your round, and so you're going to be starting to climb through some of the rounds now, and starting to have a fair number of points available as well. I would buy Vulture Aid first, because that's going to also assist in your points farming. And then the perks that I mentioned earlier, I'd also recommend you pick up pretty early as well. So things like double tap and things like Deadshot. So let's assume that you're maybe at like round 10 or something. At this point, you can absolutely stop doing your toxic growths. Like you probably have a PAP 2 weapon or a PAP 1 weapon, and you've probably got a blue or a purple wrench by that point. And you can just start relying on the actual drops that you'll get from the game from that point forwards. You don't want to keep toxic growth on the entire time, in my opinion, because it's usually a little bit more comforting to have an ether shroud on with 2 charges, or to have a frenzied guard available. So I'd switch over to that at some point there once you feel like you've got a little bit of a boost from those plants. But then we're going to move over to the strat itself. And it works very simply. You're just going to go upstairs in the farm building just here, and you're going to move towards this broken corner of the room. When you do this, you'll see that the zombie pathing basically breaks, and rather than running at you from inside the building, they're all going to try to jump up from below you. And so this is where you can just start spamming your weapon, whichever weapon you're trying to level, and you'll get a ton of headshots from this, and by association, a ton of XP, and you can max level weapons in half an hour if you're using a double XP token, or an hour if you're not using double XP tokens. Now, while you're up there, a few things are going to happen. Number one, the zombies are going to nudge you around a little bit as they jump up, and that's why we've got Electric Cherry on, because it's going to help stun the zombies when we reload, so it just gives you a bit better quality of life. Also, I quite like having reactive armor on, because that's also going to stun zombies when they break your armor plates and give you a little bit of an extra moment to re-plate up. And the second thing that's going to happen is from round 16 onwards, you're going to start getting bears, right? And these bears are very fiddly to deal with because you have to leave your spot. So this is why Napalm Burst is really nice. It's going to help you take the bears down much more quickly. And if you really want, you can always put Napalm Burst on one of your other weapons and use that as your bear exterminator, and then just keep your primary weapon as the one that you want to level and put fireworks on that, because that's really good for getting general kills that will contribute to your kill progress. Now, another way to make your life easier with the bears spawning is to go and craft hunter killer drones, or to just make sure that you're keeping stun grenades. Both of those are phenomenal for taking the bear down, but the hunter killers are a bit more of a passive thing where they just kill the bear for you, and the stuns require you to still obviously shoot the bear. Now, as you get later into the rounds, you're going to start noticing that 2 bears are going to be spawning, and that's going to get pretty chaotic. Like, don't get me wrong, having the Rampage Inducer on this entire time means that this goes very fast, but it also means that you really need to keep your wits about you when bears are present. So you could always do it where if you hear a bear spawn in, you drop down, turn off the Rampage Inducer, take out the bears, and then you turn it back on again. But an alternative option for dealing with the bears is just to never bother actually getting to the bears in the first place. You can obviously get to round 16 very easily, take that bear down super easy. You can probably get a good 10 rounds or so past that without having really any difficulties if you're PAP 3 gold rarity. But the fastest way to make this strat work is to then say, okay, yeah, I'm going to exfil at 26, and then I'm just going to jump back into another game and do the same thing again. And you should find that by doing this, you end up max leveling your gun, or getting pretty close to it. And if you don't quite get there, you can always jump back in another game, finish those first, let's say, 5 rounds or something to finish max leveling a gun, and then you could just quit the game because you're only on round 5, it's not really a big deal, and you can just start the process again. But if you're more confident in your abilities, absolutely, go past 26, you can try and exfil on 31, 36, etc. Just when you do that, make sure that you've got Napalm Burst on the main gun that you plan to be using, and make sure you've got hunter killers to take out those chunky bears. So that is the strat in Farm Survival, but there are other options available to you as well, like I said, for if that gets patched. In order to explain how these work, I'm actually going to hand the video off here to Joey Conway, who's used these other spots rather than the Farm Survival spot, and he's got a little bit more experience to kind of guide you on the best way to approach them. So, Joey Conway, take it away.
What's up, people? I got some strats, I got some spots for you to go camping, get your headshots, get your XP and camos, and even some augments. And all of these locations are not on Van Doren Farm. So I would use all of the same augments that Milo was using earlier in the video, and I don't have Electric Cherry on with my Elemental Pop here, regrettably, and it's really, really useful. It's so good. It would have helped me a lot in these spots. So these spots will be even better if you have Electric Cherry. So the first one I'm going to show you is in Blackwater Lake. If you go into the cabin, walk inside, go up the stairs, and then go right where Speed Cola is, and turn around, have the bed to your left, and take a look at the door. Now what's going to happen is the zombies are pretty much going to run in a straight line right at your face, and you're going to be able to just get headshots for days here. And you can escape out the windows, and you're pretty good. However, when Zursa shows up, you're going to want to switch up what you're doing a little bit, because you're probably not going to be able to survive in this room with Zursa. So what you can do is hop out of the window and then either run in a circle out in the street, or you could do a little cheeky thing that may be patched, but as you approach the front door of the cabin, go right and jump on the hay bale on the side here. Now, you can mass kill the zombies, but then also the Zursa will not target you. You will still be targeted by the bees, but it will not directly target you. So you can take out the horde of zombies, especially if you have Rampage Inducer on, and then you can fight the Zursa one-on-one. So that might be a good way to take out Zursa for you. The next spot I want to show you is in Janus Towers, the spawn area, and this one is quite good as well. So on the side of the spawn, directly across from where Uberclass spawns, there's this little ramp that goes up. And if you stand on the edge of the ramp at the top, you can just aim down at the zombies running straight towards you. So you can line up a bunch of headshots here. But this is only viable if you do this one trick. So what you can do sometimes is slow the zombies down with your toxic growth in front of you. But the trick is to take Tessie and park it right behind the ledge that you're standing on. This means that it'll block all the zombies from being able to jump up to you behind you, and it's going to block that off, and all you're going to have to focus on are zombies in front of you. And when Zersa spawns, obviously get down from the spot and run a circle in the spawn area. And obviously if the zombies are getting way too close to you, because they were for me in this game, you can always turn off Rampage Inducer. So these two spots are not ever going to get patched, but better spots may be found. So stay tuned to the channel for more videos. Bye for now.